Good morning. This is Stephanie C. O'Connor, Executive News Editor at Hotel Business. This morning we're at the ALIS conference speaking with Scott D. Berman, the Principal and Industry Leader, Hospitality and Leisure of PwC.
Good morning.
How do you see what's happening in the U.S. affecting investment by overseas investors? And do you see a change in who will be investing into the U.S. lodging space? I mean, there's talk about China having to pull back and things like that. Where do you see the money coming from, if it's coming?
It's a good question. It's a fair question. It is one we are constantly thinking about. I would tell you in 2016, our client base was largely, in terms of buyers, was from overseas. The Chinese view the U.S. still as a relatively cheap market. They love the hospitality industry. And in many cases, Chinese would like to bring back the intellectual capital that resides in the United States back to Asia and develop their own brands and portfolios. I think that's coming. Now, the regulatory environment in China is as complex as I've ever seen. I've seen our clients work incredibly hard to try to close deals and be told by their government that they must pause. So, it's difficult to operate in that sort of an environment. Notwithstanding, sovereign wealth, Middle Eastern buyers, I think will come back. There's always that watching the gas industry, the oil industry in the Middle East, and there's a correlation between the price of gas and barrel of oil and how active those investors are. So they've been on the sidelines for a year or so, but I think the price of gas price of oil is going up. And then you've got new first timers from South America, from Central Europe. So the hotel industry is hot. There's a lot of competition for deals, and that does have an impact on value.
I want to get your perspective on one more question. Speaking of things that are hot, last year we saw the mega merger between Marriott and Starwood. We continue to see consolidation. We see Chinese investors coming in and buying trophy properties in the U.S. What do you see ahead? Can we expect to see more M&A? Can we expect to see more of those big trophy grabs?
Well, I think it's going to be more difficult. It wouldn't surprise me if we do. I think it'll be more isolated, more regionalized. And there's certainly, as I walk around the conference, I get that question often. There's no obvious pairings, to speak of, the 1st of January. What I will say is that there are certain product segments that are very hot. For instance, if we were sitting here 5 years ago, Stephanie, we would never really talk about the resort segment. I have never seen resort product where there's more interest in both ground-up development, in purchasing of existing inventory, and again, it feeds into consumer research and that output that consumers do like to vacation. They enjoy their leisure time, and they want it to be experiential. And then they don't want a square box with a rectangular pool. And so, as I think about deals, I think we will see some interesting deals in the resort space, whether it's traditional or all-inclusive. But that's my prediction for 2017.
Terrific. Scott, thank you so much. We've been speaking with Scott D. Berman from PwC this morning. This is Stephanie C. O'Connor at Hotel Business. Thank you.